Hey everybody, welcome to R&B Reviews. I'm Rob.
And I'm Dave.
And Dave, I got a riddle for you. What happens when you mix 42nd Street with Cabaret? What do you get?
I don't know.
Burlesque, the new movie starring Christina Aguilera and Cher. In this movie, Christina Aguilera is coming from a small town. She plays Allie, and she goes to LA looking for work as a singer. She ends up in this place called the Burlesque Lounge, which is run by Cher, and she wants to be a star there. So, okay, Dave, let's start with you. What did you think of this movie?
I thought the acting was good and everything, and everybody was casted the right way. Cher was excellent in this movie. She was probably the best actress in the whole movie.
Yeah, I agree with you on some of it. Cher is good with this movie. I mean, it's Cher. The acting, I don't 100% agree with you on. I thought Christina Aguilera was just okay. Some of the acting, like I said, was pretty good. Like Cher was good, and actually my favorite moments in this movie were between her and Stanley Tucci, who plays the stage manager over there. They had some very good, funny dialogue. Yeah. But other than that, the story was just such a cliched story. The story of a girl leaving the small town to go to the big city, I think, is a story that's been beaten to death over the years.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look at it. The girl, in this case, Ellie, played by Christina Aguilera, comes from a small town. She happens to be a server at a bar. When she leaves, she falls in love with a guy who works at the Burlesque club. She has a bitchy enemy. The club is losing money and might close, and there's a bad guy who might buy it. You know, it's just such cliched stuff. I mean, the whole backstory thing's been going on, like I mentioned, 42nd Street. And this movie also kind of, like I said, reminded me of Cabaret, because there's, for two reasons. One, every once in a while, there's a musical number that kind of that goes along with what just happened in that point of the story. Like when, for example, Christina Aguilera walks into the Burlesque club, there's a welcome number, and then Alan Cumming, who is the ticket collector in this film, he kind of reminded me of the MC from Cabaret, because coincidentally he also played the MC in a recent revival of Cabaret, and there's a couple of times he's allowed to do some MC-ish gag stuff in one scene where he's doing an act. So
yeah, that's true. I mean, this movie also reminded me of the movie Chicago, because that's about another like burlesque cabaret movie in a way.
Well, I took my girlfriend to see this movie, and she could tell you there were times I rolled my eyes at all the cliches. Another thing I did like about Burlesque was the burlesque numbers, and they were nice and fine and sexy, and they held my attention.
Yeah.
But strangely, when Christina Aguilera's character becomes a star in the film, that's when the numbers start turning into music videos, I thought, as opposed to burlesque numbers, because she gets a couple big over-the-top numbers, and yet the Burlesque club is losing money. So why would they put up extra money for that?
Yeah, you know? And when she sings in this film, she sings like she does in real life with her own music career. With that, you know, the high vocaling and all the.
Well, I mean, that's her style.
Yeah, I mean it fits the burlesque style, but it's kind of, you know,
over the top.
It's over the top, yeah.
Yeah, one thing I noticed when I was watching the Cher's musical numbers versus Christina Aguilera's musical numbers, Cher has two musical numbers, and they're simple, like the welcome to the burlesque number. She's got the girls with her in her costumes and simple sets, and then she does a second number, which is a rehearsal where she's by herself on stage with a spotlight. Now compare her to Christina Aguilera's stuff where it's flashy and these big sets, you know. You know what I think they were trying to say with this movie? The older acts that have been around a very long time, they don't need all that stuff. They got the talent, and then Christina Aguilera needs all this flashy stuff to go with her, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an escapist film. You know, I mean, it is a cliche film. I think people that are going to go see this movie probably don't care as much as I did. I mean, it's a decent movie. There's some funny dialogue, but it's an okay movie.
People that are probably the most people that go see this are either Cher fans or Aguilera fans.
Or musical fans.
Or musical fans, yeah, or fans of burlesque clubs. So.
Yeah, now let me ask you this. What did you think of Christina Aguilera's character?
Well, like you said, it was the typical, like, type of thing. Girl grows up in small town, wants to get away because there's nothing going on, goes to the big city. Yeah. It was.
Well, one thing. For some reason, I just could not really root for Christina Aguilera's character, and the problem is, I think she's a little too cocky, and one time she yells at Cher, and I thought that was kind of disrespectful. I mean, it kind of reminded me of those contestants on American Idol where the judges say no, and they throw a fit at the judges for not letting them get them in, you know? I mean, if she would, I mean, she starts out semi-nice, but then when she becomes famous, she starts to become a little bit stuck up, especially to her roommate, who's also a bartender here.
But it kind of showed how those clubs are backstage in real life, how the girls fight with their managers and all that, you know, and it just... It's like that in real life.
I don't
really.
know. This movie was just too much of a fantasy, I think, to be real life. I mean, it's a decent movie. I'm giving it somewhat of a rent it on DVD verdict, but I don't think you have to run to the theaters to see this movie, in my opinion.
No, I'm also gonna say rent it on DVD. I mean, it was good and all, but it's not worth like paying all the money in theaters to see. It'd be better to rent it on DVD.
So go ahead and post your thoughts about the movie if you've seen it or about this video. So thank you very much for watching.